when Beely and I collaborated to create this learning experience, I really felt like it was the meeting of the minds where we took her strengths and my strengths, and we came together with a class, a 75-minute in-class experience initially done remotely and then done with the students having their laptops open in the classroom. I'll get to the end and say that many of my students reported that was their most favorite class period of the entire semester, and that they had never had a learning experience like that ever in their educational career. And so I've thought a lot about why. What is it that we did that made that so unique and such a favorite of the students? And here's a few of the things that I feel like we did. One, we created an environment where everyone, no matter what their learning style was, could contribute and participate in the learning process. So if you're a slow thinker, a fast talker, a contemplator, raise your hand and don't even know what your question is until your hand's fully in the air kind of a person, it didn't matter. All had something to say and all had something to contribute using the Lucid software that we used, with the Post-it notes, with the likes, with the emojis. Anybody could participate in a level that made them the most comfortable. So that's one that I think finally the introverts are like, I feel like I can finally be here and I deserve to be here and I'm not feeling left in the dust. So that was one. The other thing I think that Lucid did really well is it created a visual environment. I think, I have students who say, I'm a visual learner. I'm like, you and everyone else on the planet. I don't know of anyone who's not a visual learner. So it did create learning in a visual way, but oddly in a tactile way too, where you could actually manipulate the visuals. You could move things around. You could create Post-its. And so we saw a lot more engagement as a result, because your hands literally needed to be moving in order to be learning, but you could visually see what it was you were manipulating and doing. But what I think even more importantly, so could your peers, so could your fellow classmates. And so we're seeing this learning happening in real time in front of each other. And so typically when you're in a lecture hall environment, your mind's working, it's going, but no one else can see what you're thinking. And so now we have this metacognition going on where, because of the Lucid platform, all the students are able to see what everyone else is seeing or thinking, and it's sparking ideas for them. And then you're seeing the ideas build upon each other because we're essentially in each other's brains. And that you just can't have in a lecture hall. You just can't do that unless you have something visual in front of you where we can see each other's thoughts. The other thing that I think made it fun for the students was the novelty of it. It genuinely was just something they had never experienced in a classroom before. And some didn't like the novelty of it. In other words, the learning curve, where do I click? How do I move this? But I would say that that was very minute compared to the number of students who got it quick, figured it out. I think Gen Zs were born with a smartphone in their hands, so they're fine. And so whatever little learning curves they had, I felt like that was overcome quickly by the novelty of being able to do something you normally don't do in a classroom.